Good evening, friends. Tonight I would like to discuss in a quick video here about that old 1975. It just won't leave us, will it? But now I got some information out of Crisis of Conscience, written by that great apostate Raymond Franz, whom I admire. I admire this man. He stood up for what was right. But in his book, he had a paragraph that will shock people. And it was also the same thing he's quoting was in the Watchtower. It was in the Watchtower of August the 15th, 1968. That's August the 15th, 1968. If any of y'all have that particular Watchtower, you can go check out what I'm saying. Because this is a paragraph that will shock you. Okay. Like I said, I'm going to make this one quick. And I'm only going to stick to 1975. We all know, and we were there at that particular time, we knew everything was brewing for 1975. Everyone was enthused about this. Let the world know. 75 is the end of it. Where brothers sold their homes and went where the need was greater. Yes, they did. Sold homes, cars, insurance policies, retirement funds, put off operations, and they went out. Okay. But now, you can take what Ray Franz said to the bank. Now, he quoted this same paragraph that was in the Watchtower, but he brought it out because it shocked him, even though he was on the governing body, that indeed they made a statement like this, the writing committee. And it says here, the Watchtower of August 15, 1968 even implied that one should be careful about putting too much weight on Jesus Christ's own words. That's what Raymond said. That's what the Watchtower said. Don't put too much emphasis on what Jesus said. For this is what they said now. It says this here. One thing is absolutely certain. Bible chronology reinforced with fulfilled Bible prophecy shows that the 6,000 years of man's existence will soon be up. Yes, with this generation. Matthew 24:34 is the scripture they drew that on. Then they went on to say, this is therefore no time to be indifferent and complacent. This is not the time to be toying with the words of Jesus, where Jesus said concerning that day and hour, nobody knows. Neither the angels in the heavens, nor the Son, but only the Father knows. Then they go on to say, to the contrary, it is a time when one should be keenly aware that the end of this system of things is rapidly coming to its violent end. Make no mistake, it is sufficient that the Father himself knows both the day and hour. Now, the one that really put me back was when they said, to the contrary. And that word, to me, I think I looked it up, and it means forget about what he said. Regardless, now is the time to be listening to us. This is what they really said. To the contrary. Now, all you people out there who might be a little shocked about that word to the contrary, look that word contrary up and see what it means. See what that word means. To the contrary. That's the way I would take it. Forget about what Jesus said. Let's listen to what we're saying now. To the contrary. To the contrary. To the contrary. It don't matter what he said. What matters is what we're saying. This is what they're really saying, friends. That governing body. To the contrary. To the contrary of what Jesus said. And then Ray later on goes down to write, how could a faithful and discreet slave possibly say this? In effect, this is what they said. True, my master said this and that, but don't make too much of that. To the contrary, realize what I am telling you. You should be the guiding force in your life. Some of the most direct statements came from the Brooklyn Service Department, which produces a monthly paper called Kingdom Ministry, a paper which goes on only out to Jehovah's Witnesses and not to the public. And this is what that Kingdom Ministry sheet said. In view, now that was put out in March 1968. And it said, in view of the short period of time left, we want to do this as often as circumstances permit. Just think, brothers, there are only about 90 months left before 6,000 years of men's existence on earth is completed. But then he says, the May 1974 Kingdom Ministry, having said to the short time left, this is what it said. Reports are heard of brothers selling their homes and their properties and planning to finish out the rest of their days in this old system of things in the pioneer service. Certainly this is a fine way to spend the short time remaining before the wicked world's end. Now Ray goes on the right. Quite a number of witnesses did just that. Some sold their businesses, gave up jobs, they sold their home, they sold their farms, and they moved with their wives and children to other areas to serve where the need was greater, counting on having sufficient funds to carry them through 1975. Others, including some older persons, cashed in insurance policies or other value certificates. Some put off surgical operations in the hope that the millennium entrance would eliminate the need for these surgery. When 1975 passed and their money ran out and their health got worse, they now had to try to cope with the hard realities and rebuild as the best they could. Now, what did the governing body do after this time had came and left? Ray says they did nothing. The majority, from his observation, took a wait-and-see attitude. See? Now 75 is come and gone. What are we going to tell the people? Of course, in actuality, we've been caught with our pants down. But let's not worry about that, brothers. Why? They were reluctant to call for restraint. Why? Because big increases were taking place. 400,000 people got baptized in 1975. See, 400,000. Well, now that's a lot of people, if you think about it. But to 6 billion people on this earth at that time, didn't that message also apply to them? Sure it did. But they only got 400,000 out of 6 billion people? So when they boast about their increase, I think that was a slap in the face. That was a slap in the face to them. Only 400,000 people coming in, and there's 6 billion people in the world. That means 5,600,000 didn't believe it. If you want to put it that way, they didn't believe that. And they were right not to believe it. But this is how low they have went. 1975 caught them with their pants down again. You know, it seemed like to me they would put a belt in their pants and keep them the hell up. Why do they keep playing games with God? They're going to tell God when to end the world. They're going to be the ones to make the dates. This is what they're actually saying. And Jesus said, no man knows that day or hour. Not even the Son, but only the Father knows. Now, it can't be no more clearer than that. Only the Father knows. But the child of God knows. Yeah? Again, pants are down, aren't they? Pants are down. Smoking gun. Ray had it right in Crisis of Conscience. Smoking gun. Pants down. See? To the contrary about what Jesus said. You know, they've always said the Watchtower threw Jesus under the bus. This statement proves that they have thrown Jesus under the bus when you say to the contrary of what he said. The time is now, because we said so. This is what they're really saying, friends. Yes, it is. So that's all I'm going to say on this subject, because that's been one of the most argumented subjects in the Watchtower world. That's the big one. Thank you, friends. God bless.